All right, we're finally going to take this to this. Right, it's all that you've been waiting for. We're gonna finish the little haunted house. And of course, one thing we gotta do is a lot of little planters. I found a bunch of these little wooden beads that were pretty cool. Got some floral wire, and I had a bunch of extra parts and pieces from my kits of plants that I think will be perfect. I tested it out a little bit and I ended up with about 3 inches of wire. I'm going to fold it in half. Put the end bead on. Just something so that the wire doesn't fall all the way through my big bead. And then I'm going to put little curly cues at the end. You could do this any way you wanted to, but I wanted it just a smidge fancy, you know. So I'm just going to curl it up at the ends so that the wire doesn't go all the way through. Once I got the wire all set, then I'm going to stick my funky little beads. I have these beads all over the place and everywhere. All I have to do is look through my stuff and I'll find something that works, right? And this is how we got a little planter pot, or hanging pot, I guess it would be. I know I recorded myself, I thought I did, actually putting the plants in the pot. This is what I recorded, me cleaning up. I swear. But basically, all I did was put a dollop of glue and just randomly put some of the plants in there. And there we go. See? I did do a lot. Honestly, you guys could figure it out. Just put the plants in there however you want. And I made a whole bunch of them. Turned out really cute. Alright, next we gotta put everything on a base. I found a piece of wood, scrap piece of wood that just seemed to fit just right. I think it'll give us enough space to have a little walkway around for our balconies and things like that. And I also found these lights. They're for, the Christmas villages, the Luxem, whatever they call. But I think it's going to work, but my hole's not big enough for the battery pack, so we'll have to fix that. And I think we'll combine everything together here. First thing we got to do is take the Christmas off of this, and it should be pretty easy. And then we're just gonna pop those off. And I'm gonna save all those little wreaths for later. I'm sure I'll find a use for them somewhere. Now I'm just gonna try to figure out how I want to do this. These have long leader wires, so we'll have to figure out how to tuck those in and stuff. It's made for, those Santa Village things, and they're meant to go underneath the batting of snow and things like that, but we're going to use it for our little haunted house. I think this will work out perfect. Now I kind of wanted to do kind of a cobblestone effect, and I thought about this a few different ways. The first way is I thought I would cut a piece of cardboard out to the shape and then just kind of carve out the stones or bricks, whatever I decided, onto the cardboard and then stick that on. But then I thought about, I can flip this little particle board. It's a trim piece. We redid a living room recently. And why carve a piece of cardboard when we got a nice blank slate right here? So I think I'm going to use that. How I decided to do this is I'm going to make kind of a brick, cobblestoney kind of sidewalk. I'm just going to get my ruler out and I'm going to make some lines. once I got the lines going one direction, I kind of marked out where I want my lights too, so that I can stick them down there. I'm just going to make random bricks. Just kind of stagger it, just like a brick sidewalk would be. It doesn't have to be super perfect. These have been walked on a lot. And now we paint. I'm going to do kind of dark, start dark, work my way lighter. So I'm watering down some dark gray. This particle board really absorbs the paint, which kind of works in my favor because I want it kind of worn and looks like, you know, rain kind of washed away a little bit. So I willy-nilly'd the dark gray there. And then I'm going to go back through and just kind of color here and there the different bricks, different colors. Because we used all sorts of different leftover bricks to make this sidewalk. And don't worry about it being too bright, because it's going to absorb into that particle board and it'll dull down quite a bit. Especially when once I'm done with that, I'm going to do a wash of just black over the top of it. And it all kind of blends together. And there we go. Kind of got what we want. And I'm also going to go through and just kind of, I liked it kind of dirty looking, so I normally just wipe it right off. But I think I'm just going to blot it here and there, just a tad, just to let it wear out here and there. We want it to look lived in and walked on. And now, see, I could cut out the back a little bit more so we can fit the power source in there. I have two of them. This one's going to be a lot of lights. So I had to take it apart just a smidge, but it's still fine. And I like the big windows, but one drawback is you can see right into the building. And inside our building there isn't anything, but we want to pretend that there is. So I'm going to put up some curtains, and here and there I'm going to put some tissue paper over some of the holes that show right into the building. We want to keep up the illusion. And there we go. And you could read it a little better. Perfect. Alright, we gotta finish the door. You can see I put the plastic in the middle, sandwiched it between the two wood pieces. I kind of sanded the edges so that the door was a little more rounded, and I had this gold pen. It was from, I think it was the corner bookstore. It gave me a gold pen, and it works perfect for writing on things in gold. So to keep up the mystical magical, we're just going to put a little bit of filigree, and we're going to do this, use this pen quite a bit, a little bit here and there. And last, I found a little bronze bead I had, and I'm just going to use that as the doorknob. Ta-da! Door is done. Time to glue this into place. You can see how the brick sidewalk, it kind of dulled down a little bit as it dried, which is perfect. I kind of imagined that in my head. So we're going to kind of center this up, and this is going to be the beginning of a very big masterpiece. And I bought these string lights. They're purple, so it's perfect. And that little clothespin you see there, I marked that as the middle of the light so that I know I want this half to go in the bottom, and then the rest is going to go in the top house. And I just kind of tacked it in the back so that it wouldn't go anywhere. Yeah, there's where the clothespin is, and that's just marked. That's for me to know where to stop the light, so it's kind of even. And then we're gonna stick the little balcony on. The only tricky part of this one was getting it centered and in the right spot. Getting there, halfway there. Gotta stick that little door in there, and if we measured right, it should fit. We just want it open just a little bit, just like that. Now the store's ready. Time to move on to the rest. All right, now we gotta build the support beams on the bottom, because in real life that wouldn't be able to stand up by itself, right? So I just cut straws just like the top, and I'm going to match up the top beams with the bottom. Now I use bendy straws, and it kind of works in my favor, because if it's just a smidge too short, I either tape it or I just expand the little bendy straw out just a little bit so that it fit, and try to get it as straight as possible. And then we're just going to put some corner pieces. Those are the same pieces that we used for the top balcony. It's just whole, and we're going to put it in every corner. And this also helps straighten up those little poles too. It's looking really good. It's a lot like how I envisioned it. Amazing, huh? Now, next we're gonna stick those little lamp posts, and I just put them on each corner. One thing I did do with all those wires, I didn't show it, but once this was all tacked down, then I tucked all the wires underneath the base, and then I duct taped it like crazy under there so it's nice and smooth. That way it was all tucked under, and we could take it off if we wanted to. He's been watching me this whole time. He couldn't help it. Had to check out what I was doing. Hi, Marsh. Say hi to everybody. All right, you gotta go now. Okay, now we gotta deal with her little house. So I did the same thing as I did on the bottom, is I drilled some holes just so that some light can go through on the sides, because these birdhouses, they're only on the front is all the openings. So you kind of have to modify it a little bit. And I wanted a little tiny door on the side too. And basically, same thing as the bottom, is I painted some orange wherever the windows are. It always looks a little messy before we finish it all up, but it's one of those trust the process things. So I had a bunch of these window cutouts. They just come in a full pack of just random parts and pieces that I got for $2 somewhere. And this one just happened to fit perfectly right in this middle. So we're gonna use it. And I had some cute little archway ones, so we're going to use those on the side. And it also came with a couple doors, so that's what I'm going to put on that other hole there. Now, I wasn't sure what to do with these other awkward little windows. I did have square cutouts, but they're way too big, and I did paint them purple in anticipation to use them, but too big. So what I'm going to do is I have some black puffy paint, and I think I'm just going to outline it in the black. We'll make it work. There we go. Gives us a texture at least. And once that dries, it does take a little longer to dry. We're just going to go over it with a touch of gold to match the other windows. Now these windows are just like the bottom ones. You can see right into the house. We don't want to do that. So I am just going to cover the side windows with the yellow tissue paper. And then I have just enough of that curtain material to go over the middle little round window. It worked out. We're using just scraps. I didn't have to buy anything extra for this little guy. Just the house. There we go. It's perfect, and it'll look great with the purple lights showing through. Now it's not quite fancy enough. You notice I didn't put the texture on the top house. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get that gold pen again, and we're going to add some fanciness here and there. Kind of going for that fairy tale, witchy house, a little bit of Scandinavian, you know, that kind of look. Little gypsy lives there. All right, it's roof time. Done this type of roof many times, and it's just cut pieces of strip of cardboard. I like using like the cereal box kind of cardboard, the thin stuff, and you just fringe it up and stick it on. It makes great shingles. Once you get all the shingles on, then I just put a capper on the top, the tippy top there, and the little side window, and there we go. Not bad. And with this one, it was fine that it was cut all wonky, because we're going for kind of a, you know, a whimsy, witchy house. And then just trim the sides. Don't do this until it's dry, otherwise it's all gonna come off, and you'll just get mad. I just happen to have a couple extra of these little triangles, and they fit perfectly in the eaves, so we're gonna stick those on. Why not? When I set this on the whole piece, I really liked the brown. I was going to do it all in black, but I kind of like the brown against the darker colors. So we're going to stay in that tone. So I'm going to just do a base coat of a nice basic brown paint, and then we'll highlight it in the gold paint. Since we got the gold paint on our paintbrush, we might as well do those windows. They are still a little tacky, so it kind of smushes here and there, but it's okay. Kind of adds to the effect. We're going with it. It does look good though. And I like to stick moss on everything, and I have tons of different colors of moss. So I had this dark green and the white moss, and I thought I would chop that up and mix it up and stick it all over the place. I think it makes it look good. Go. Ta-da! Plants make it. I think that really adds the extra touch. And then while we're at it, let's do all these railings. We want it to be nice and grown in. She loves her plants. to stick it to the top. Now this one's a little trickier because I didn't have an opening to the side, so I have to kind of put it up into it and then glue it onto the porch there. Easier said than done. Maybe in hindsight, I thought about gluing it into the house and then sticking it down. But I ended up with this method. Jam it in, glue it down. When it's all together, oh my goodness, that looks really good. I'm pretty proud of this one. There was a lot of steps to it. We had the base, then that, then we added poles, lights, and the house. And it glows. Not too shabby. I love it. I think this is one of the best ones so far. I say that of everyone. And you can't see too much into the house, which is the effect I wanted. I like that the purple changes color against like the yellow and the orange. So everything's kind of a different glow. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, this was fun. I like doing this one. What's some ideas I should do in the future? I got some ideas. I might have to do something for, you know, the fall. I'm thinking of a farmhouse or something. So look forward to that one. And then, of course, Christmas. We got tons and tons of things for that. We got snow. We got sleds. We got, I mean, I could do anything, right? So stick around. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss all those future videos. And I will see you the next time. Bye.